Hello, 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 and yeah, it's been a while since we've been in the land of Disco Elysium. I don't know why. Probably just because it's a little heavier, and the last few weeks have been exhausting. Um, my summer hours have ended. So we'll be going back to streaming mostly on not Monday, Saturday and Sunday. Hey Seth, hope you're doing okay. Um, but yeah, I think things seem to be going relatively okay. Um, yeah, so we'll be going into Disco Elysium, and tomorrow we'll be looking at what's replacing Owl's Guard. But first, bring the music back up. Streamer mode is still on. Continue. Okay. How we doing?
Just a moment.
Oh, okay.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
Ah.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
So, apparently, just like our world, they don't have much in the way of, phone booths. But this world also doesn't seem to have much in the way of cell phones, so that's even worse.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Good day, ma'am. Everything alright?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The Union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
What's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
Why do you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house-sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night. But they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them.
Huh.
I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Alright, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
Mm-hmm.
But you have more important things to worry about.
So your husband is some kind of scientist?
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
Aliens. Actually, this is probably going to be more like Bigfoot. What's cryptozoology?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
The lieutenant sounds unimpressed.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
She's completely internalized her husband's struggles. They are her own.
What does the expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect.
Oh?
But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
Are they in a rough neighborhood?
There's a nameless old fishing village nearby, but we've never had any trouble there before. There is a lot of crime around here, isn't there?
Well, considering the body.
I can't say it's the best part of town, but I wouldn't worry too much about a pair of grown men traveling together.
Do it. Find her husband. This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect. Some fringe science is exactly what's needed right now. Spice up that vanilla murder investigation.
This does sound like police business. I'll help you find your husband.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but...
And it's just police work.
Yes, but a junior officer could...
Tapes off the glasses and things, putting them back on without wiping.
Fine. Our victim's already been dead more than a week. One more diversion won't change anything.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morel.
Water lock on the canal is broken, so your husband's probably just stuck on the other side of the coast.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
Yeah, probably just some technical problem.
Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband. And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
If I see him, I'll let him know if you're here, when or if I get there.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
Maybe you can convince her to tell you about some cool cryptids.
There's really no point in manipulating anyone. She'd be only too pleased to tell you about her work. Go on and ask.
Hey, Lena, I'd like to hear more about the cryptids you've studied. Could you just tell me about a couple of them?
Oh, I'd be delighted. Truth be told, I could really use the company too.
One cryptid, not a couple. One. This won't turn into some kind of cryptid extravaganza.
Okay, Kim, just one little cryptid, promise.
He nods and assumes a waiting posture. Ooh, tough choice there.
What's the tiniest cryptid?
Cryobacter catlensis.
Cryobacter catlensis.
Yes, a unicellular bacterium that was discovered in one of the northernmost points of Kotla on the Boreal Plateau by renowned geologist Caitlin Mijanou some 70 years ago.
What's special about it?
Bacterial colony Mijanou found had remained alive while frozen in ice for longer than anyone could reliably estimate. Certainly from before recorded history. Mijanou disappeared shortly after injecting herself with the bacteria she had brought back to study. No doubt in hopes of prolonging her own life.
Wait, she injected herself with it?
Yes, the bacteria had survived in the ice since times immemorial. It is not hard to see where she could have gotten the idea.
It's actually a little hard to see. But do go on.
I guess she was preparing for the end time. She wanted to witness and record the Twilight proceedings.
Mijanou did talk about the end of the world a great deal before her abrupt departure. Everyone thought the bacteria had driven her mad, but She really was a brilliant woman. Maybe the Cryobacter catlensis allowed her to see something no one else could.
Okay, let's not offend Kim, and we promised we'd only talk about one. So it's been educational. Sadly, we need to discuss something else.
Of course, dear.
Jumbo, moral looks, character, your
Oh
relationship.
dear. I'm not sure where to begin.
Well, what does he look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Let's try again. If I were to meet him on the street, what would I look for?
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
All
The
right.
lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, just in case.
How long you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
I think that's all the information I need. We can move
I
on.
hope I've been useful.
That's all for now.
Can I help you?
Okay. I guess we're not talking about the phone.
Let me handle this.
Okay.
Detective disorientated. Are you still wondering where you are? This is Martinez, in case you've forgotten. I advise you not to overstay your welcome.
Her entire character has shifted. This young woman is cold as ice.
You lied to me. You're not a gardener.
That's right. I am not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy? You think he has information that will help you? Maybe he does. That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What if I want to talk to you, not Titus?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
I like that. Good start. Let's take it a step further. Armed uprising. What are the union's plans?
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary.
I guess I should go talk to Titus then. It's a bowl. They're spitting it, reeking of tobacco. Ugh. Photos of men in overalls, toting guns, and Union placards. See hawthorn bushes outside. Huh. Two in the chest, and down he goes. Is what I studied law for? our bar, Hardy Bar.
This is where you say your bit.
Okay.
Detective.
Yeah, we'll be quiet for a second.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
Do not let their squeals disturb your serenity. These are but simple peasants, sire.
We need to talk about the man hanged up and back.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that won't.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell.
I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there. You must really like cleaning up other people's shit.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match.
Scan the room, I guess.
Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man. In his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian. In his late 30s. Early 40s. And then standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. Fingerless gloves. And numerous scars. A little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 44. 40-something. Non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
Where?
On his neck. Forget it. It's not important. Let's call this one the musician.
And little guy?
Size 41. With the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face. Mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46. Deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He, alone, is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
One of them's missing, the odd soul.
Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
I found 8 set of footprints, but there's only 7 here. Where's the 8th guy, Hardy boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here. Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl. Who might it be? Elizabeth? The gardener?
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. And you're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
So, man hanging in the backyard. You do it?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Apparently.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why is there a container belt around the man's neck?
Container belt? Like we use in the harbor?
Yeah, why?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him. We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
Okay, that's it. Game's over. Got the perpetrator.
No, you don't. What you have is 7 honest men who thought it forthcoming to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any more of your time.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
So you murder him just like that, no remorse, huh?
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in Revachol under the Coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
And Reunion, what's that?
The River Esperance Correctional Facility, a military prison run by the Coalition, dubbed Reunion by the inmates. The origin of the name is unknown.
Honestly, I drink so much I can't remember anyone I've sent behind bars.
Doesn't remember them. He just forgets. Are you hearing this, Titus?
Ain't no use keeping a stiff catalog in your head. That's for sure.
So, why'd you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
He was a mercenary, that's it.
And he stepped out alive.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
Oh, I see.
Live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Hold on, how do you know he was a spec ops?
'Cause one night he walked straight up to the mic and said, "I'm Oranese goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all."
That really doesn't say much.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some Oranese paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
Sire, the tale is true. This is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Okay, so besides crimes against karaoke, what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
Well, that's definitely not good.
From rape to harassment to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation?
Yeah.
He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in. if we don't bend over. That was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Was this the same girl who was SA'd, you said?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got around. Aren't you fucking listening?
There's something odd here. Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it.
Alright. Who did he do this to then? It's a very serious allegation.
No. You're not getting a name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Uh-huh. Who calls the shots that night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy Boy without arresting all Hardy Boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
No, but seriously, who calls the shots around here?
Who do you fucking think does?
It's the 8th Hardy Boy, one who's missing, the big dick.
Titus, no one was thinking.
That there's any question who's the leader. That's how he would have ended it. Titus won't let him.
No. 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 Fuck no! The big dick is right here, asshole. You're looking at it. Right. Fucking here.
Disregard the outburst, officer. None of the boys have any comments on their power relations. That night, they acted as one. That's all.
Uh-huh. Why don't I just arrest you then?
Yeah, lawman. Why don't you?
It's almost an anthropological sight, watching him try to assert dominance over you.
Not in the arresting mood?
By your side, the lieutenant keeps his hand away from his holster. You hear the nylon of his coat hiss as he steps closer. Easy. Walk back from the provocation. They're armed, and they outnumber us. The lieutenant tries to establish eye contact with you.
Alright, easy now. Let's just talk.
Wise move. You made the right choice there. Now make another one and get the fuck out of our booth. We're not gonna do this again.
Oh, how'd you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
The autopsy showed there were no ligature marks. His hands were not tied. Can you explain that?
Look, I'm not gonna play 20 questions with you, capo. I'll say it again. We killed him.
Yeah, I knocked him out. Came up behind him and clapped him in the back of the head. He went down like a sack of sand.
That's right, lawman. And then we hanged the fuck.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up.
Mr. Tess, what did you use to knock the victim out?
My fucking elbow, copper. Samaran boxing style.
Samuran boxing, or Sambo, is an eloquently violent set of one-on-one fighting moves, originating from the Samuran Isola. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. He may be lying, but he's good at it. No twitching, no rushing, no uncalled for details.
Where'd all this action take place?
Right fucking here. Eugene already told you that the fuck had started coming to our bar.
Yeah, man. Weren't you listening?
Things aren't quite right here, are they?
Titus is solid as a rock, and so are a few others. But
Well, who's solid?
Elaine, who looks like he might be Titus's right-hand man, the least antsy of the bunch. Definitely not his first time being questioned by the police. This little rat-faced fellow is solid, too. Always fidgety, yes, but no change there.
Yep.
Him neither. Mostly keeps to his tomato juice, or whatever he's got there.
So who's cracking? Sweating profusely, has difficulty breathing. Smartly kept him out of the conversation thus far. Definitely the weakest link in the chain. Hey, you alright? Sounds like you have trouble breathing over there.
No.
Looks up, startled, his forehead shiny from the sweat. Few coiled locks are peeking out from under his warm woolen hat.
Of course he's having trouble breathing. Just look at how fucking fat he is.
Fuck off, Shanky. Angus is a powerful guy. All muscle.
Keep your eye on this powerful guy. Sooner or later, he's going to break like a piece of twig.
Something you're not telling me.
And fuck you, too, copper. Picking on Angus like this. We're done with this schoolyard shit. And just so you know, he doesn't have trouble breathing.
His all-muscle comment wasn't sarcastic. He's genuinely trying to look out for Angus. This one is a stone wall. You won't get more out of them about the night of the murder. Not yet.
Alright, I got other questions about the lynching.
Like what, copper?
Like, when did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
And how long have you known the Bick?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah. Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines? The same company you're striking against?
Yep.
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what? Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Alright, what are we doing now?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility, we're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
Yeah. I don't think that's really gonna work out all that well. Yeah, let's increase my pain threshold would probably be a good thing. Gonna take my leave now. Prove your authority to Titus Ardle. Find Morrill, the cryptozoologist. Let's see if we can't get that door open.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
That'd be a no.
Ow. Shoot. Whose moronic idea was it to just run through the door? Don't you know that things like that hurt?
That blood I'm seeing?
Are you alright? This looked pretty intense and painful, I must admit.
What is going on there? Are you really trying to break down the back door? I warn you, don't tempt the spirits, officer. Don't tempt the spirits, or you'll damage the holy wards on the door.
It barely looks like you've done any damage to the door, however. It's still locked and closed, covered.
Well... Oh. Not much of a physical person. Ugh.
The man is decomposing visibly now. Every hour, he looks less like a creature and more like a pile of intestines. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
I guess let's bag him, take him away.
If you think so, officer, I'm not going to object. I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I'll take it from there.
What should I do in the meanwhile?
Continue working here. The locals, the case, or attend to your own business. I will meet you downstairs in the whirling in rags tomorrow morning, 7:30 sharp.
This means Lieutenant Kisuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks and even the main case, though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench on the plaza.
I guess bag it and drag it. Huh. Distant squall of seabirds. Splutter bullet holes line the wall. Ugh. Well, some more money.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Know something about these tats?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you know something about the tattoos.
Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Oh, what can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
Well, what's your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And yeah, this little town is not in the greatest shape. How are these talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Interesting.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
You mean Measurehead?
Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead.
How are the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
How long you been here?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM. I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
Fascinating. And then what happened?
The union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Dental plan.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
And what are the demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh, yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Okay. They want control over their own labor.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
I like it.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker, a member of the board.
No, what do they mean by it? What's the demand?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision, about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Well, the king is dead. Long live the workers.
That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags, a disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Yeah, what happened to Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
No, that's not cool.
Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Scabs at the gate. Did you put him there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Okay. What do you think, Everett?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Yeah, that does seem to be Everett, all right.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
We're hearing something about Edgar.
Have you seen him?
No.
Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
I see.
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself, outside of the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say...
Active advocate for the likes of local working men?
Why do you think so?
Well, between Everett, the human leech, and Measurehead, this union sounds like a motley crew.
Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it. They're an interesting composition, albeit vile. But enough about Everard. What else can I do for you?
One more thing. You said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union. She disappeared.
Disappeared, eh?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Some kind of extortion, probably.
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Okay, all I need here, let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
By the way, I have talked to Everard.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
I didn't.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually, corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth. Of course, I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a worm myself. But if you felt like passing some information, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
I see.
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Well, I helped him turn the heat up on the borscht.
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making?
Cook makes it to keep the strikers drunk. Helps them strike.
The strike brew. That's a classic. And by turn up the heat, I presume you mean put more alcohol in it?
No, you misunderstand. Turn the knob like this.
Beyond curious. I will choose to interpret that as you turning the alcohol in the strike brew down. For the sake of our professional relationship. And because I don't like the idea of them any more drunk than they already are. What else?
He's helping me find my gun.
Oh. That's so helpful of him. So very, very helpful. And how is that going? Do you have any leads on that gun?
No.
Well, maybe he's not as helpful as you thought then. Is there anything else?
I'd rather talk about something else right now, if you don't mind.
Of course, Detective. Should something come up later, down the road, don't be afraid to drop by for a chat. Until then, is there anything I can help you with?
What can you tell me about the lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
Oh?
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your name and badge number.
Why is this necessary?
I just can't go around telling confidential information to strangers. I've signed a contract.
Thing is, I don't have a badge at the moment.
What happened to it, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Remember my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? I lost badges related to it.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yeah.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
It's possible. After a night of heavy drinking, I lost all memory of my life in the world.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
A bit.
She must have been suspecting something for a while now.
However, this isn't about my feelings. There's also protocol to consider. I'm afraid I can't say any more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Sympathy for your amnesia, pities your boat failure. I mean, 72% is pretty good.
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate.
Surely there's some other way to demonstrate my law enforcement credentials.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Such as?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge, though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Okay, tell me about the alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isla into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
What kind of ingredients are we talking about?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
And Cheers come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
The lorries.
Precisely.
Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbor into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
Well, it's not really my area. Just want to get to the bottom of this.
Well, here's your chance.
Well, we have some suspicion one of the drivers was present at the lynching.
The two might even be connected.
What proof do you have the unions involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight. It's true they drove a number of the local businesses to bankruptcy preparing for this venture. I've talked to a few business owners. It was quite the shakedown. But the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men.
So you think strike's being funded with source agreements for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
It's no coincidence the lorries are stranded there, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the trade committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of liters of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Okay, I made up my mind.
Yes?
I'll look into it, probe the drivers, see what he yields.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic jam won't disperse for a few more days. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
I guess that's all for now.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building.
Yeah, I don't think I need that. I work hard, I play hard, nobody works harder.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito, bullet holes, and an RCM sticker.
Good mail delivery box.
The box seems happy.
Those chain cutters, I'm sure, will be useful at some point.
Kuno care?
Yeah, more empathy is always good. Probably not gonna work, but hey.
The fuck do you want with it? Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk.
What's going on? Is an ungovernable youth on your... Like you don't have enough on your plate. You feel a sudden surge of self-pity coming on.
Kuno, you must have seen all kinds of things throwing stones here. Want to help the RCM bust a murderer?
Fuck no! What are you? Fucking mentally handicapped?
Kuno, they've almost made you a snitch now.
Ease off, see? Kuno always takes the bullet over the hammer.
Okay.
He'd rather die than work with the justice system.
Okay.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
The trash container stands in the spring snow. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Oh, no cans there. Hello.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
That is, yeah.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
Well, let's keep listening.
From another planet. Hey there.
What's going on here?
It's the jam, my man.
Noticed.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils, heavy metals and other byproducts of the modern era. You can almost taste it.
Where's Jam?
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days.
Limbo, huh? Swear I am, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
It's official. He too agrees. This is the antechamber of the afterlife.
So, how long have you been here?
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes and mazout.
Extravagantly phrased, but I can roll with it.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Behind the laugh, however, a touch of sorrow.
So tell me, what do you need?
What are you hauling anyway?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Wicked. I always wanted a friend from the underworld.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grodd and the Occident, though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately.
So that's your machine behind you?
This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
A motor lorry, also called a camion, on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6.
Fallon A6 you got there?
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together.
There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks he's spent too long in this lorry.
So nothing legal then, eh?
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
Got one of those Fallon tracksuits you're hauling?
We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
Right. Had another question.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
What do I see in his eyes?
In his eyes, an unfamiliar longing. Flecks of brown and gold.
Familiar how?
It's hard to say. His gaze wanders southwest, down the street that goes beyond the horizon.
What's in the southwest?
Excuse me?
A flinch jolts his frame. The question has touched a nerve.
Well, I got along. Felt something similar since I woke up.
Man, I don't know what to say. Not much anyone can do. There's no helping in absence, you know. I miss my family. They're all I have. My wife, second kid on the way. Waiting all the way in Diora. And here I am stuck in this shit, so far from home.
Diora?
Diora of the Seven Seas. It's on the other end of Le Caillou, pretty much. On another island called Laurentide, off mainland. We've got a little place there. Can almost hear my kid laugh when it snows.
What's it like?
What's it like? Good. And bad. An ache that brings you joy. I think of them a lot. I dream up these silly scenarios in great detail of living with them. It comforts me. What about you, Cop Man? You missing someone?
Is that what it is? This feeling? No, it's scarier than that. You're pursued by a hunter, smelling of apricots and sorrow, and the past.
I feel hunted.
Hunted? By what?
By a shadowy figure only known to me as the X something.
An ex-wife?
Ex-wife? Nah, it's a sinister presence that hunts me across all planes of existence.
Sinister presence? Wow. That sounds really bad. I hope that doesn't happen to my marriage.
Yeah, don't worry. Certain nothing bad is ever going to happen to your marriage.
Yeah. In marriage, you never know if you're doing the right thing. I hope we're doing our best to keep ours together, but anything can happen. Look, man. Thanks for this. It's nice to talk to someone. I know it wasn't easy to ask, so I hope you find your way through your own troubles.
You seem like a man who knows about drugs. That's, it's pretty heavy going in. I'm good for now. Good talk.
Don't be a stranger.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
You're a lorry man, right? What's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
Why not?
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage.
Hold on, but they make Al Ghul alcohol in Ilmara too. Just told they do.
I don't go for that foreign piss. Proper booze is made in Mundi. Or sometimes I like a dram of that Yugograd vodka. Koikos and worse much, but they do no booze.
So I take you're not smuggling drugs out of Martinez.
Not in, not out. I'll never betray the purity of my tribe.
So you're saying you don't know anything about drug smuggling through Terminal B?
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
So why are you still around here? Most of the other lorrymen have left.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
Did see a lorry with the trailer doors open my way. Know what happened?
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some kip boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it.
I really hope this person does get the ass cancer.
Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
Yeah, serves him right.
It's a fucking travesty is what it is.
Well, if it's not you, who's running drugs through Terminal B?
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang. That beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
Uh-huh, who's that again?
He's a Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer stuff. Stuff he stole after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry.
And where is he?
Just follow the smell. It smells like apricot and oil when you're nearby.
Uh-huh.
Seriously, though, he's usually just a little bit south of here. Down the other canal. You can't miss him. Just watch yourself. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, all right. 100%.
Guess I need to pay him a bit. That's it. I found the smug in the trash. Yours?
Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. Haven't seen anything that funny in a while.
So it's yours.
God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
He doesn't live in Martinez.
And we're done. What terrible, terrible people. I agree. Very erg.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Okay. Actually, I was...
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
Who is Saint Baptiste?
Saint Baptiste. You know, the pharmaceuticals company. Saint Baptiste Pharmaceuticals. The one that sells meds out of Saint Baptiste. That one. There.
She is right. Saint Baptiste, the company, derives its name from Saint Baptiste, the city. Itself so named because that's what it is. A rare case where that really is the full etymological history. As far as almost anyone knows, at least.
Okay, here. I hope Saint...
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Yeah, tear bag, but no tear. Can I still use tear machine?
No. You need tear to use the tear machine.
Great tectonic force to crack the pavement like an eggshell. Humanitarian aid tuna fish, not for resale.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here.
Oh, what's so cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer.
Oh?
You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang.
I'm not cool.
What? No. I can't believe you said that. You got personal style. You know what you like.
Yeah.
You like premium menswear. Look around and browse. Everything looks cool on a guy like you. Take your time.
Don't be distracted by the flattery and funny man act. Questions?
Yeah, I got a 50-50 chance. Well, a little less then. See if I can get some money.
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Hey, you seem like a really successful entrepreneur. Like to support a member of the local police force?
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
Think of it as an investment.
An investment? What kind of investment?
Guy told me I needed money to live. Otherwise, it's game over. I don't want to die.
A bold move. Let's see if it pays off.
Officer?
I don't even want happiness or unhappiness. I just don't want to die.
Tugging at his heartstrings like that, doesn't it feel a bit manipulative? It feels great.
Okay, officer. I can't leave a man in need like that. How much do you need?
I mean, he's a smuggler. 10 real.
All right. This should help you get back on your feet.
So, where are you from, Ceiling?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All reversion.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
Oh, sounds good. I guess let's get back to business.
Very cool. I like your style, officer.
So, what's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs.
I am super into drugs.
That's very cool. A lot of the coolest detectives do drugs. Sadly, I don't have any drugs on sale. Or at my home, or on my person.
Uh-huh.
Sir, it appears to be true. No drugs in sight. Not in the box of sunglasses or under the speakers.
Oh, we're looking for a lorry driver who is transporting drugs out of the harbor. He or she is in this traffic jam.
That's even cooler. You investigating that and all. But, I am not a lorry driver. I'm just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that.
A blatant lie, sire. Yet he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better.
But you are a lorryman. Other drivers identified you and your lorry.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater.
So you do admit you're a lorry driver.
No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole. I'm...
Realizing he can't get out of it. Smart man.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
So you were embarrassed to tell me.
No, I just forgot. It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rear view mirror now. I'm climbing out of that hole with ingenuity.
What do you know about the drug operation at the harbor?
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd.
Which crowd?
Crowd. You know, the drug crowd.
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd. He doesn't want to talk about them. He's afraid.
Well, who are you afraid of, Shinli?
Look, there's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I've spent 15 years working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
Well, if you don't want to get in this mess, you have to give us a reason to move on.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Oh.
Interesting. Could this driver be connected to the Hardy Boys?
Could she be associated with the Hardy Boys?
I don't know. I'm not local. I don't know anything about that.
Well, where is she? Haven't met a woman on the roundabout.
There's one by the statue of that king. I haven't gone near her. And I won't either.
And who are these other drivers who talk?
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now.
We cool.
All right. Very cool. Let's cap this off with a purchase. A pair of funky sunglasses, detective. You deserve it. And I deserve it too. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'll look around, thanks.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
Save the economy? That sounds off.
What are you talking about?
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new things. Buy eco.
Thanks for this. I'll try to be more economically conscious.
Very cool. The economy thanks you, officer.
Well, let's browse.
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places. The box smells like cat piss or like an old person with no money.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first-hand, buy second-hand. Keep the economy moving.
Find something worth salvaging from the pile of rags?
No good. All you can come up with are some treated wool pants. You can tell they're too tight around your thighs and too loose around the waist.
I guess we'll discard.
No luck? Why not take another look, officer? Keep supporting the economy.
Yeah, I'm good. Lady driver near the statue, eh?
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods.
Let's see what this is.
A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip The second, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane.
I see.
Not a good track record of mental health in that family.
Nope.
As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece.
What did this king do?
Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy.
What way?
Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol.
I see.
His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola.
How do you manage to blow through the entire national treasury?
Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person.
Deplorable farce. No wonder everything went to shit.
But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction.
The what's in the what?
You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy.
So he's addicted to nose candy. Bloated druggie?
That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later. Right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay.
Alright, what is nose candy again?
Cocaine.
That's a lot to process.
His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms.
Alright, where's he buried now?
Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum.
Well, what happened to the statue?
The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution, when Martinez was leveled. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces.
And who restored it?
Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit.
That's such a bad idea.
People in Martinez tend to agree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than the young ironists. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death. Not that he ever did in life either.
What indentations? What do I see?
Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. A bullet? Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Fascinating. A little bit of cash, and hello.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. Maybe she's your...
Excuse me, ma'am. I'd like to ask you some questions.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Grandma?
Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair is gray like lead.
Well, this is a bit rude, but at least we've tried to be normal first.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from Minosis, you've told her back to reality.
The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the wary aspect of a cornered beast.
Are you alright, ma'am? You're out.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
Wait, what was so bad about the 50s?
The men have the small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber?
Where else would you be then?
Back in Mecca, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro. Until you came along, that is.
Sorry to interrupt your dreaming, ma'am.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden.
I see.
While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution, in Meth, it was a golden age.
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate, a constitutional monarchy, and, as of recently, an outcast due to its tilt to the far right.
Think you were in Mesk when you were young.
Someone was.
Who's Gabriel Buenguerro?
This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all of his lines.
I see.
In all likelihood, it's a world that's only ever existed in her mind.
So these are not your memories.
They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not? They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
She seems to derive some bitter pleasure from this strange thought, as if the past will one day wipe the present away, like a tidal wave approaching.
Right, I got some questions. Police questions.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
Settles back against the railing of her motor lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos, and knickknacks line the dashboard.
There's something off about this woman. Tell her to show you the soles of her boots. Maybe she was at the hanging somehow.
Before I came, you seemed away.
What do you mean?
You're in a dream, inactive, tuned off.
Yes? What about it?
Should you drive a lorry if you get like that?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best camioners around. I drive routes no one else will.
My routes?
The Monosov's Land, Udajnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain, the Transcatolia Magistral, you for 1A, Adestradas du Mirador, all the good ones, the deep trenches, where the bluebirds fly.
Cool, right into your dust, sister.
Irmao, I already am dust.
Alright, are you the lady driver?
Did you just call me a lady, Herife?
She clearly doesn't think she's a lady. Don't repeat it.
I was told of a woman driver. Only woman here.
I'm not that either, Harife. I've gone too far from it all to remember what was between my legs. It doesn't work like that on the long haul.
So you're not the driver everyone's terrified of.
I'm only terrifying to small children and to those who used to know me.
Yeah, it's not her. Believe me.
And who is the driver I was told of?
How should I know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around when I have my movies to go to?
Why are you scared of the people who used to know you?
Because they can no longer recognize the person I once was.
You said long haul, that's...
The big ones, the trucks. There's no women and men there, it's all just... In the middle of this town, there's a ghostly motorway. It takes all the people where they want to stay.
In the background, a quiet song seeps from her cabin into the air. You don't hear any vocals.
That's all I need to know, thanks.
Awesome.
Something in her is pulling towards some unknown rest state. She twitches, like a sleep kick.
Well, you seem like a woman who knows thinking too about drugs.
What do I need drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary, no drugs can compare.
The adversary?
Yes. There is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no coming back from that hole.
Those epithets are familiar somehow. The great adversary. The great unrest.
Where do I get my hands on experience like that?
If you don't know,
Maybe if she thought you're corrupt.
Everett sent me.
who the fuck is Irad?
Union boss?
Ah, and what do I care about the union boss? He's no Gabriel. He's no Franco Negro. He's not even Hermenegildo the Hound.
Okay, let me put it another way. Smuggling stuff through Terminal B?
Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
How can you not know what's hauling in your own lorry?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grat. And the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramiriza to Grat, Loman?
Drugs?
No, Loman. Diamonds.
So if you had to guess, who do you think is smuggling around here?
Easy. He's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
I didn't ask you about diamonds, did I? Don't care about that.
Diamonds are good for you, Loman. You should try them sometime. Make yourself pretty like Eva de Zoras.
Okay, if you're not involved with the drug trafficking, why are you still waiting here?
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the futures of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains.
Can I see the soles of your shoes?
Now what do you want with an old woman's boots, Sheriff?
That's for important police business.
I'm starting to think you should let me get back to Gabriel Buenguerro. You are no Gabriel.
No, this lady does not play.
She's wearing sturdy workers' boots made of black leather. Buckles run across.
The other one?
Is also made of leather.
Just before Gabriel, it was the coronation of Franco Negro. Now, there was a real man.
There's no aberration in the pattern that you can see. She puts her foot down.
Moreover, the boots were size 37. Tiny. There are too many discrepancies in all this. Another discrepancy, although not boot-related, is the coronation of His Innocence, Franco Negro, which happened 500 years ago.
Wait, what do you mean it was the coronation of Franco Negro?
It was. And then it was no more. And I was no longer holding my father's hand. He was no longer descending the stairs in Ryle. The crowd had gone silent. Perhaps it was another Jerife who came and woke me up, looking at my boots, asking questions. Or perhaps it was one of the others in this carnival. I don't remember.
As she says carnival, she gestures to the empty square with the statue and the machines.
Well, these are not the boots I was looking for.
The feet of a little girl. They fit well on the pedals.
So what are you hauling?
Diamonds. Of course not. But with whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
I guess that's good enough. You don't know what's in your own
I
lorry?
quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
Well, the cargo's contraband.
Then it's contraband, Lowman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
Bad Hand? Hermenegildos' bad hand strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people.
I still don't really understand the whole Badero thing.
Of course not. To truly understand the Boyadero, you need to listen to On the Western Plain.
The Boyadero, Boya for short, is a cowherder from upstream Magritte, the great steppes of northern Mesk. He is a rugged individualist and explorer.
Alright, what is
It's
that?
an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring Boyadero. He promises to marry her as soon as he returns from the Western Plain.
And I'm guessing that doesn't happen.
Of course not. The Boyadero returns from the Western Plain a changed man. One night, as he and his beloved are out walking along the river Magritte, she pleads with him to give up his riding and settle down.
In the background, you can hear the orchestra swell as the screen fills with the maiden's imploring eyes.
I think I see where this is going.
So the Boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the Magritte. Then he rides off, because the Western Plain is calling to him.
That's not where I thought it was going.
You have to understand. A true Boyadero needs a whole horizon to himself. He can't be tied down by man or woman. His beloved was selfish. She didn't know what it meant to love a Boyadero.
Thank you for now.
Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Meski.
I knew they weren't gonna get together, but, oh boy. White tank top. Ruins full of snow. No one comes here anymore. Bold sign, Humanox covers his truck. So I talked to a bunch of people.
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind?
I heard one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. You know the lady driver?
I don't want to talk about that.
Why, do you know something? What is it?
Man, I was hoping she'd catch a break. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some mastermind evildoer. And I don't know where she is.
Oh, who is he? What's her name?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the Lady Driver. She kept her name a secret. From me, too. Now I see why.
Again, not a lie as far as you can tell.
Who is she to you?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
Yeah, what does she look like?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
Yeah, what color hair?
Blue and violet. Dyed. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
When did she leave?
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person. I know that much.
Oh, it's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
She's troubled. How?
She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
She shared that with you?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not?
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
This violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
Her mind?
The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her.
When she left, did she leave her lorry behind?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
He's right. There are other options. The raceman, for one.
Ugh.
Wait, this guy says they're friends, then acquaintances. And he's okay with others ratting her out. Push Tommy and it will break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals.
So you're alright with others ratting her out. You just want to get your hands dirty.
Fine. I don't want to be a butcher. And I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night. A little fame wouldn't hurt too.
Put yourself in my shoes. Need this for an investigation too. It's important. I can't blow it.
You're not going to put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's on the edge, man.
Do I force him? Or do I go and talk to one of these other people? Like, I think if I can get Tommy to help me, he'll allow me to help this person, like, in a nicer way. I feel like if I go to the racist asshole, this is going to end in a bad way. So, we'll try it.
I thought you were a different kind of cop.
Some breaks in his stares in your eyes.
The realization that you've used his friendliness and goodwill for your own ends. Remember, you're doing it for the bigger investigation. This is important. Relax. Ask.
Where is she?
Here.
The keys to a motor lorry. Pretty complex. Looks like a chain lock.
Her lorry's still here. Down past the Statue of Philippe. The cabin is green. You can get in there with these. That's all I know.
Sorry I had to do this.
I bet you are.
And he's sorry he couldn't be what he wants to be. A good person. His last line, his revenge on the world.
Thank you. I'll go check the cabin then. The green one, that would be this one.
This green found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
Yeah. Seems like everyone who's read that comic is not doing great. I'm old.
This is the one the man pointed to. His friend's lorry.
We'll take a peek.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and two steering levers.
I guess let's unlock the door.
You push the key into the lock and turn. It makes a cracking sound. Then the door pops back a few centimeters. You can just
open it.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be.
Well, let's check the toolbox.
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Oh, what's the paper?
It's an issue of Périphérique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
And the note?
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
Huh.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Posters, a radio, dust on the windows.
Well, let's open the passenger seat.
Voila. A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachol. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Well, let's take a look at them.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock. And this person knows them all.
And you're looking for as few checkpoints as possible.
There, hundreds of thousands of motor carriages roar on the 881, high above the massive brown and red roofs that is Jamrock. The commuters don't even look down. The world ceases to exist outside the windshield.
Where does this road lead?
To Couronne, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates below the road.
And second map?
This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital, right adjacent to the 41st precinct. No storm will ever drown Revachol. The great solution to the riddle of history.
And the third map?
The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and a traffic island in central Jamrock by the lake. These service tunnels were probably used during the construction of the foundation beneath the motorway. Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network belonging to East Motor Tract.
Smugglers have infiltrated the motor track.
The cluttered cabin of the abandoned lorry offers no reply. If only Lieutenant Kitsuragi were here to help you piece together the evidence.
Well, I guess let's return them.
You stuff the maps back under the seat cover. Better not to leave traces of you being here yet. The movie stars look silently by.
Yeah, let's check the posters.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century.
But we don't mention the yachts.
One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint of amberette, wafting through the bitter air of the cabin.
What is that smell?
The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume. Probably Grenade No. 5.
Well, let's check the centerfold.
The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera.
Well, it's always nice to get something signed.
This is Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic, untimely death.
Oh, what happened?
She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here on Boogie Street, a mixture of cocaine and morphine. She was afraid of the world, and the camera, too.
Ah, Speedball. Not good. Oh, enough of the posters.
The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard, and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
Let's check the pedals.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
Oh.
Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Sandpaper would also rub off on the pattern from the driver's red boot sole.
Matching one of the footprints found from the crime scene, which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
Wait, the missing 8th Hardy?
Looks like it, yes.
And she's also the one running the drug trade. What a handful.
You've identified the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys had anything to do with the drug trade?
Well, this would fit what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make any assumptions right now.
You should probably still talk to them, see what they've got to say for themselves. The movie stars are still smiling from the walls, but there's something strange about the passenger seat. The radio transmitter sits on the center console, and the pull-out toolbox lies hidden under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Well, let's take a look at the radio.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver. The peculiar frequency tableau indicates that at least 128 stations have been saved on this radio.
Interesting.
It has to be an advanced model to fit so many frequencies next to each other without blending them together.
Why would anyone need so many radio stations?
Unclear. For contacting an entire fleet of lorries, for example. This must be the nerve center of a well-organized operation.
Anything I can do with the radio?
Not without the dial key, no.
Well, I guess let's conclude.
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes, some dead actresses, and a rusty old toolbox under the seat. You close the rusty old lorry door. Your job here is done.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of information there. But I think we're going to be saving here. And yeah. I've got dinner in the crock pot since about 1 o'clock, and I'm kind of hungry. I understand that's not something super important, but it is important to me. So, yeah. Tomorrow we're gonna do what is gonna be replacing Owl's Guard, which might be interesting, might not be. From what little I played of it, seems okay. But that's something we're gonna find out tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.